Okay. So did we have that we have now? We can have an array of objects, no? Like this. In fact, this is what we will do in our shopping cart. No, each item will be an object like hot dog, toothpaste, and noodles. No, and the shopping cart is actually an array of objects. Okay, that's what we are going to do here. Okay. Before we do that, we'll explain. We'll introduce a new HTML tag called a select tag. Now, the problem with input is input can only ask keyboard input. Do you follow? Of course, it can also have radio buttons, no? By the way, there's another type of input which can have, you know, an option, a set of options. It's called a select. Somebody has introduced this already before, no? For example, you have this, no? A selection of cars, say sub, no? Then you say Audi. Do you follow? This is called a select. The actual code is like this here, no? When you have a select, you start with a select tag. You also give it a name and ID like the ordinary input, the regular input, and you also end it with a backslash select tag. Okay, you can choose your options by using option tags. You have option and end option. An option can have a value and a label. This is the label for the option. Okay, this is the value. What's the difference? The label is what appears on the screen. Okay, the value is what is returned when you get element when you use get element by ID. Okay, for example, when you say submit, take note that the OD is in small letters because the value is in small letters. Do you follow? Let's choose Opel. When you say submit, take note that Opel is in small letters, although that the label is capital O. Okay, so that's the difference. No? The value that is returned is the indicated by the value attribute of the option. Okay, any questions so far? We are going to use this in our in our shopping cart. Let's look at that. No? In our shopping cart, we'll have a label, or rather a select, okay, for the items that you want to buy. Okay, you follow? And the options are included by the option tags. Let's run this anyway. There are three versions, no, of this shopping cart. For example, sardines 34 we add to cart. This is called on change, no? Ito on change ito. Okay? On change, or you can have on key up. It's here, no? On key up. Okay, do you follow? On key up, or you can use on change here. On change, I think, is better. And then you say add to cart. So you now have two items in the cart. We can show the cart. Okay. We have two sardines. So you have hot dog. We say 4.20. We add to cart. Show the cart. So we have hot dog. Do you follow? Okay. You can clear the cart. So it clears. Noodles 5, 6, for example. 18. You add to cart. Show the cart. We have noodles. Then you say shampoo. 10. 25 each. You add to cart. Show the cart. Let's add one more. So say toothpaste. 15 and 55. Okay. That's what we have. That's a simple shopping cart. Okay. Let's look at the code. How did we store the cart? The cart is an array. We declare this outside, no? Any function. This is the cart. The cart is an array. Okay. What is an item? An item is an object. Okay. We can see it in the add to cart function. We have it here. Add to cart. We say var ci. Ci is an object. Do you follow? Okay natin, no? So ci here is an object. Do you follow? What are the attributes of the object CI? We will have item, which is the description. We'll have price. We assign this initially a 1. No, it doesn't matter anyway. We have price. We assign initially 0. We have QTY for quantity. And we have a function called item amount. Okay? Item amount is a function. It's not a value. It has a function name called item amount. Okay? And it returns a value this dot price times this dot quantity. Okay? And it's rounded off using math. Math dot round. This rounds to 2 decimal places. Okay? 2 decimal places. So what do we mean by this dot price? You can have several price variables and several quantity variables. But when you say this dot price, this is the price of this particular object, not any other object. Do you follow? Sometimes this is useful if you have to disambiguate or distinguish between other variables. No, you have to say this dot price. This is the price of this cart item CI. Okay, so you have to use this function, this notation, no? This dot QTY. Okay? Kasi hindi pa natin alam kung sino si CI at this point. We'll just say this. Okay? So this is an example of an object having a member function. Okay? So we will get the item, the description from a paragraph called item desk, and the quantity from the QTY input, and the price from the QTY input. This is not a paragraph, but this is a select. Okay? So you say ci.item is the selected item. ci.qty is the quantity you type there. Ito, no? Ito yung ito yung ito yung item desk. Okay, and this when you type quantity here, this is QTY, and you type price here, this is price, no? It's sometimes good to multiply this by 1, but as of this moment, we are trying to do this so that we can do a console.log. If you are going to use this later, no, you have to multiply by 1. But in this case, we don't have to multiply by 1 in the above portions because we have multiplied it by 100. Multiplying it by 100, it has no effect. Anyway, we multiplied by 100 divided by 100, still the same. Okay, we just have to round this off to 2 decimal places. Okay, so this converts it into a number. And then to add the item to the cart, we say cart.push CI. Okay, we are adding the cart item to the cart. The cart item C is an object. Do you follow? Okay. Okay. So the items here, cart.length. This is cart.length, no? This one, cart.length. Okay. The number of items in the cart. Okay. So we have a function compute amount. Why do we do this? Because we have it from here, no? We want to display the amount here. Okay. That's why we have compute amount. But for each object, you don't have to do that anymore. How do we show the cart? We'll use a for I loop. You can use a for of loop anyway, no? It's your assignment. How to convert this into a for of loop. Okay? Any questions so far? And then in the for I loop, you have a computation of the total amount, which we will display. This is the total amount, okay? Which we display at the bottom here in show that cart. Okay? So here, no, items bought. That's where we store the total amount. Okay? Any questions? So this is a simple shopping cart. You have the source code. You can use this for your payroll program. Okay? But before we do that, no, explain how to do this with to convert this into payroll. Let's proceed. No? Now the bad thing of our shopping cart is we don't have a good output. Look at that, no? Hindi aligned yung ating output. No? Let's do some organization here, no? Let's organize the output. Okay? like this here, no? We have 2, 5, add to cart. If you show the cart, look at that. The quantities are not aligned. Okay, the prices are not aligned. Even the descriptions are not aligned, no? And that amount here is not aligned. Can we align this into columns? Yes. How do we do that? We have to do a little HTML. There are many ways to do that using HTML, no? The more advanced things is using grids, no? In CSS, and then you will have flex boxes, no? But for us, no, let's start with the most common HTML tag. It's called a table. Okay. If we organize this into a table, we will be able to organize this into columns. In fact, we will be able to add headers and footers to the table. Okay. So HTML tables. How do you organize tables? No, you organize tables with a table tag. Okay, and if you will have to add an end table tag also. No, each table you add a row to the table using tr. Okay. To add a column to the table, you say either th or td. They are the same, no? A th will have a bigger font. A td will have a plain font. Do you follow? So if we try this, no? So this is the table. Okay. So the first row is th, no? Okay. And th, by the way, in this example is centered. Okay. So this is the th effect, no? It will have a larger font. This is the tr effect. Do you follow? No? So to do that, no? For each row we use a tr. Okay? The first tr is the header. The second tr is the first value, Jill, Jet Smith, and an age of 50. Okay, so TD will add a column. Okay, TD will add a column to the row. So like here, we have another TR which has 3 columns. Then we have another TR which has 3 columns. There are other things that you can add to the table. You can have a header and a footer. What's a header? It's just like this. What's the difference? This is added as a row, not as a header. Okay? So you will have a T head tag and a T foot tag. Okay, let me show you that example anyway. No, this is in the second HTML source code. Okay, so let me run that first. No, let's run the shopping cart which uses a table. No, instead of using okay instead of using a plain paragraph. Okay, ito na. Okay, we can have sardines 2, unit price 5. You can say add to cart. So we'll have this. So take note, it's arranged. Align na yung mga columns and the amount. You can say shampoo 4, 5. You say add to cart. So now it's arranged, no? It's better. It's presented better. We'll have noodles. Then each add to cart. You follow? We have a line number. This is the subscript to the array. Okay? So we can say delete an item. Because we have a line number, we can say delete item 2. Click OK. So nawala yung 2. Okay. We can add another item. Shall we say toothpaste? 5 toothpaste. 25 each, shall we say. So toothpaste is there. You can add, we don't have shampoo, we add shampoo. 4, 12. Okay. So if you add the element number 3, okay, you'll say toothpaste will be deleted. Then the amount is updated. They follow. So it's already a real shopping cart. Okay, hindi na siya basta-basta. It's already a true shopping cart. So we have here a header. We have here our footer. Okay, let's show that in the code. We can show that in the function called show cart. No? What will show cart do? It will just loop through. I-loop lang niya yung array cart. And each time add a row to the cart. Add a row to the table. Okay, we have one row indicated by tr and backslash tr. And then for each row we add a line number ln. Ln is computed from our loop counter. Do you follow? Okay? Okay? So this is ln is equal to I plus 1 because we start at 0. So for example, this is ln, no? This is our loop counter I plus 1. Okay, this one. Okay? So this is the first column is ln. This is ln, the first column. The second column is qty. So this is qty. No, item, no? The second column is item. So then the next column is qty. So it's this, no? Item ang pinakauna. Ito. Cart.i.item. Cart I, subscript I, dot qty, and then price, and then item amount. Item amount is the function, the member function, which computes from this dot quantity times this dot price. Do you follow? So ito yung item amount. Do you follow? Okay? So this is a TR. Now, for the header, we'll have a T header called by using a tag T head. Okay? Ended with a backslash T head. Okay, this is a better header. This will really be placed at the beginning of the table. Then for the footer, we'll have T foot. Okay, which will have the cart.length. Okay, and that number, the label items, and the label total amount, and the actual total amount computed. Do you follow? So this is the label, the length. This is the label items, the total amount, and this is the total amount computed by the loop. Okay? Any questions? Now, I'd like you to use this in your next program, which is the payroll program. Okay? The last program. I'll show you an example of this next meeting. No? Instead of using items, no, you will use employee names. Okay? And instead of using quantity, you will ask for days work. Instead of using price, you will ask for daily rate. And you will ask for a deduction amount. Okay? You will compute the gross pay of each employee by using days work times daily rate. And the net pay using gross pay minus the deduction amount. You show the table like this, no? It's like the shopping cart. It's like the shopping cart where you have, instead of add to cart, you have add employee. Okay, and display it in a table. Okay, in a table like this. Do you follow? Do you understand the payroll assignment? I hope so, no? It will be part of your grade. Anyway, it's a big part, no? 30%. So you have to do this, no? Anyway, you have a sample code. Okay, you don't have to start from scratch. Okay, now we will not be discussing styling anymore, but I'd like you to look at simple styling. Meron tayong simple styling dito. You will not take up CSS, but most probably you will take them in your later courses. CSS and Bootstrap and Materialize. Now these are styling tags. Okay, so you can study the styling. Okay. Shopping cart version 3. The little side. The source code is there anyway na. No, nandun ang source code ng styles, may styles. Okay, study this. We have no time for that anymore. So anyway, 2, 5, you add to cart. So take note, we have a better table. That's not much of a code, no? Konting code lang naman yan. Okay. Mahirap yung gagawin if you don't do styles. Do you follow? I'd like you to write your uh, payroll program like this. So you, instead of using the shopping cart, you will have employee name, days work, daily rate, gross pay, deductions, net pay. And you say add employee, add to payroll. Okay. For example, if you want to delete item number 2, you say 2 and then delete. Click OK, so it was deleted. If you want to clear the cart, you just click this. The cart will be cleared. Do you follow? Anyone? No? I hope, and that ends our formally all our lessons. No? Okay, formally, no. If you look at our syllabus, we have covered everything. I think almost everything. 99, 98 or 99%. No? Okay. So this prepares you, no, for your other courses in IT and computer science. You have all the topics that needed to be discussed. Okay? Question so far? Okay. Next meeting will be our last formal meeting because it will already be the start of the exam week. So if you have questions, no, if you have issues, concerns, please bring them up next meeting or email me, no. Okay. Any questions so far? CSS is optional. It's not needed. If you want to do CSS, no, but in the exam, please don't do a CSS, no. Optional, no. Please don't do CSS in the exam, okay? There are programming parts in the exam, okay? Try the sample program, rather sample test. Ito, no? If you go through that, there's an item there for, no? Like this, no? There's an item there in the sample test which will ask you to, no, to write a program. I think it's this, no? This one, no? You write the program here, okay? But don't do CSS because it will be very difficult for me to check, okay? So if you have questions, no, please ask them now or next meeting. Next meeting will be our last meeting. What date is that? October 5. No? And take note, no? And please start taking the review questions for the summative test. Okay? This will be your study guide. Okay? And please settle your accounts with the finance office. You can pay over the bank, no? Any questions? Leak any other? No? Let me just, I think I have checked everyone. Okay? So, we can dismiss now. I will be teaching next time, no? I'm not sure what will I be teaching. I will have full load, so no problem. Maybe we'll see each other. I don't know my loads yet. Okay. But for sure, I'll have a databases too. I'm already informed. Okay. I will have web dev, no? Advanced applications. Advanced web apps, no? Next sem. I'll be teaching that course, no? One section at least. No? Advanced web apps. It's very exciting. Okay. Any questions? Okay. See you on Monday. Okay. Okay. Bye everyone. I will record this. Thanks for
Bye,
coming.
sir. Thank you, sir.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yes,
Bye.
sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Bye everyone.